Hey guys, welcome back to Gone with the Whisk. Today I'm going to show you how I make deviled eggs, okay? This is everything you're going to need. You're going to need some eggs, mayonnaise, spicy brown mustard, salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and I use chili powder. You could also use, I've also used cayenne, but you could also use paprika. And that's really all you get. And a pot of water. That's all we're going to need today. So, move some of this out of the way. I love deviled eggs. Sometimes I could eat my weight in them, and that's a lot of deviled eggs. Sometimes I eat a few and I'm good with a little bit of hot water, but I love them. And I always get roped into making them when I'm for family dinners or Thanksgiving or Christmas or just whenever people want deviled eggs, because I add all these spices to them. I add too much spices to them, honestly. But nobody else adds this much spice, and no one else can get it right. Let's test it out full. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to turn on this water. And how many do I need to fill up my egg dish? I need 1, 2, 3, 4 eggs for the dish. I'm going to do 5 eggs, and I'm gonna save one for another recipe to use with salad. So pop these back in the fridge. All right, and I'm just gonna clear these out of the way. I'm going to turn this air purifier off with a little extra noise we don't need today. There we go. All right, so when I boil eggs, I know everybody does theirs differently. It's a whole scientific thing. You bring the water to a boil and put them in for however many minutes and blah blah blah. I just put the water on the stove, I put the eggs in at the same time, and then I go about doing other things. Sorry. And then once the water starts boiling, then I set a 10-minute timer on my stove and just let that go until the timer's up, and then they are typically perfectly cooked. I've never had that fail me. But at Thanksgiving, we just about get into fights over, boiling the eggs. Because I do it this way. My dad does it where he waits till the water boils and then sets a timer for however many minutes, and he'll come behind me and change timers. And I'm like, no, stop, they're perfect. Too many cooks in one kitchen. Not enough communication with that either. But this is what works for me. If you have a different way, do it. And this is a recipe where there's not really a lot that we can do until the eggs are right. The eggs are done. Because normally I would be mixing up other parts. I'm recording videos late today. Last week I woke up real early, cleaned the kitchen, and recorded several videos in one go. Yesterday I got off work, went and got groceries, met my parents, and I don't know, by the time I got home, I was so just exhausted. Like, I've been working like 50-ish, a little more, a little less hours a week, and typically I stand all day long, even though we have rubber mats at our stations at work. It's still a lot of standing. It's concrete floor. And I have like problems with my joints and stuff. And so then by the time that left work, then went to Walmart and walked, all over that place, and actually walking, not just standing on that concrete floor. And then I got home. Oh my gosh, I was exhausted. So I have this little rolly cart thing that I use when I live on the 4th floor of an apartment building downtown. I still have that, so I dug it out of the closet and just dumped all my groceries in there and like drug it up the steps to my house, and then did trips with that. And then I intended on putting all the groceries away and deep clean the kitchen and getting ready so that this morning I could wake up really early and do videos. But I wound up just putting up all the cold groceries, and I was done for the day. I went and sat down, watched a few episodes of my show, and went to bed. So this morning, I slept late because, day off. And gotta clean the kitchen some, put away groceries. Didn't get as good of a deep clean as I wanted, but I'll work on that this week. And I went back to work. I say day off, but I had a wedding consult to go to today. Couple wedding consults. And did those, then I came home, and now I'm cooking for you guys. So, with these, the water's getting little air bubbles building up, but it's not boiling yet, so we got a little longer. These wedding consults I did today. One is a couple. They're getting married, and they're going to have about 250 people, but she wants, for her bridal cake, a heart-shaped cake. It's about like that big, not that tall. Have you seen like the vintage style cakes? It's really called Lambeth, but it's on TikTok and stuff. It's vintage style. It's got all the piping and the swags on the side and everything, and all the different piping tips are used. She wants a more simple version of that, just for her bridal cake. And then he wants a layered cookie cake, which has been really popular. Like, he just wants one tier with 3 layers of cookie cake. Some groom's cakes are getting like 2, 3, 4 tiers of, layers of cookie cake, which has been real popular lately. But he just wants a 1 tier, 3 layer, and then like 7 dozen cupcakes. So, variety of flavors, easy peasy. Nobody has a cut cake, except for the 2 smaller cakes for their tables. The other wedding, we're actually kind of excited about. It's a Pakistani Muslim wedding, and they are going all out. This is a 4-day event. The first 3 days, they said, take place out of state, where the bride's family live, and her family is, paying for the first 3 days. And then they're coming back to my town for the 4th day, which is put on by the groom's family. So, as the bride's family is going all out over 3 days, the groom's family, they have to go all out in 1 day and be equally as impressive, for the finale for their 1 day. So they are getting a 7-tiered cake. It's going to be about 4 foot tall. And I think they're getting 7 different flavors, 1 for each tier. So it's going to take my car and my boss's car to load up each layer of cake, or each tier of the cake, our wagon we use to transport, our rolling cart, and any tools and supplies we need. And then we'll head out to the venue. We'll get there early. We'll stack the tiers of the cake on the display table. All 7 tiers. We're going to assemble roses on it. And then I think it was the groom and his dad that came in to plan this part, or plan the cake. I think they want us to stay and cut and serve the cake too, so it's going to be an experience. I've never been to a Middle Eastern wedding, but I know... Little fly, go away. I know they can be extravagant, so We can see how that goes. But that's not until this summer, so we got lots of time until then. The eggs are steaming a bit more and get a little more bubbles. So maybe just a few more minutes, hopefully. Well, a few more minutes till it starts boiling, and then I set my 10-minute timer. So we still got a little time. Coffee that I forgot about. And is now cold. Still good though. I actually prefer iced coffee. It's for one, I can take more time drinking it, and two, if you sit your hot cup of coffee down and you come back 5 minutes later, it's either too hot right away, and then you sit it down and it gets too cold. So I typically drink cold brew iced coffee, but sometimes I add enough milk and cream and stuff to my coffee, a little ice cube, and I just kind of make, iced hot brewed coffee from my Keurig. Just not quite the same, but it works. Somewhere I have these big glass containers with a little spout on them that I used to make cold brew coffee in, or serve other drinks from too. I think it is at my parents' house. There's a couple. I think it's at my parents' house. So I have to go dig it out. Because I don't like making cold brew coffee in a plastic container, because it it never stops smelling like coffee. If you ever use it for anything else, there's always a little bit of coffee smell, maybe some coffee taste. So I prefer using glass for that. Okay, the eggs we're getting there. Starting to boil, and so now I'm going to set my 10-minute timer. 10 minutes and start. Little bug keeps flying around right here. Kitchen is right by my back door. I have a back door, right here in my kitchen. So things sneak in with me. Okay. Now we're just waiting for this. Goodness. You can see the eggs moving around in the pot. What are you guys watching on Netflix or Hulu or Disney or whatever streaming? What are y'all watching lately? I just finished, I'm almost finished with my just about yearly rewatch of Gilmore Girls. I don't know why I watch this once every year and a half, and I do. I finished the main series. Now I've got the 4 episodes of A Year in a Life left to watch, and then I've got to decide what I'm watching next. I've had so many different recommendations and stuff to watch that I don't remember what they are to begin with, and then I'm never going to get to them all. So what are y'all watching? Maybe I'll find something I want to watch there. I typically like to watch different either sitcoms Like I was really into what was it? Call Me Cat. That was a really good show, and it got canceled because they kind of wrapped up the ending well enough. I think they did they? I can't remember if they ended it or if it just kind of ended. Big Bang Theory was good. The Connors. I'm waiting for that to come. Oh, has it already come back out? You know, that might have already started. I have to catch up on that. I don't have Hulu right now, so that's probably why I haven't seen it. And then, like, oh, Big Bang Theory was always a good one. But I also really like period dramas. Downton Abbey is like my absolute favorite. And I finally got my brother hooked on it. And then he moved and he hasn't got back around to like watching it. And I'm just like, hurry up, you know? Because he's close to the sad, horrible, tragic death. And if you watch the series, you know what I'm talking about. And if you haven't watched the series, go watch it. So turn this off and go watch it. Actually, no, finish this video. I need the watch time, and then go watch it. But I also like Bridgerton and, oh gosh, pretty much anything set from like the 20s to Victorian through Regency is good. The Crown, really love The Crown. The last 2 seasons for me were kind of iffy because it became less about the Queen and more. Those last 2 seasons, she became like a secondary character to just everybody else, and it just kind of felt disjointed. And I understand why they didn't, but I wish they had given one more season and brought the story from, what was it, like 2004, 2005-ish, up to, you know, the Queen's death. I mean, I don't understand why they didn't, because it's like very much current events still. And that seems just a little bit tacky, like those Hallmark movies. It just kind of made stuff up about like Will and Kate and Harry and Meghan. But at the same time, it would have been nice to like see like the whole story arc complete. But I did hear they are working. They haven't started filming or anything, might not even started writing, but they're in talks to do a prequel series. It's going to start with Queen Victoria and then move through King Edward VII and then his son, is this right? Edward VII, George the Fifth, Edward. Oh, I'm not gonna keep that line straight. But like Queen Victoria, and then end with Queen Elizabeth II, like getting married. So that's a neat show that I kind of hope they do. I really hope they do. Still waiting for this. We've got about 5 minutes left. Gosh. There's a lot of steam going on. Mess up the camera. Should be fun though. I don't really watch a lot of like crime shows or anything. There's a few like Death in Paradise. I do love that one, but that's more about the characters and not about the crime or whatever. And then there's shows like Doctor Who and pretty much all the Star Wars shows I never miss. That's what I typically watch. What do y'all watch? Besides videos of eggs boiling. There's just riveting content here, I know. I'm gonna get a Emmy or something for this, I'm sure. Just waiting and waiting and waiting. going to get water, some ice. The ice hasn't frozen all the way yet, so we're just going to do water. I'll stick it in the freezer. It's going to kind of cool it off a little bit. But when the eggs are done, I typically move them to, I put them in cold water to kind of shock it, and that stops the cooking process and makes it easier to touch them because they're hot. So. Almost there. We got 2 more minutes. I went shopping without a grocery list, so I knew there was some recipes I wanted to cook for you guys, and for me, most importantly. But I couldn't remember everything that was in them, so I got like 90% of all the things I need. So I gotta go back and get like cream cheese and a lime, little random things. But I've got enough stuff to make several others, so I might just make those 2 things next week or later this week. Hey, we're down to 56 seconds. Alright, well, if you have stuck around and listened to me ramble on about Downton Abbey and Murder in Paradise for, 15 minutes, thank you. I wouldn't even listen to me do that, so real trooper. So I think what I'm going to do just to make this easier, let's get my colander if I can find it. There it is. Just pour them out into the sink, into that. And then drop them in cold water. Alright, turn that off. Rinsed them under some cold water just to kickstart that. I've got this water. It's chilled a little bit. Not all the way it needs to, but enough. Still pretty warm. So I'm just going to pour this over them. Let those just cool a minute. I didn't realize that my ice trays hadn't frozen all the way, or I would have started cooking this a little bit later. But it'll be fine. It just might take a little bit longer to get them cool enough to peel. Stove's still hot. But while that's going, let me find a bowl. Okay. So, just start peeling. Some people have ways of doing this they swear by. It makes it easier to peel. Some people put in an empty bowl with a lid and shake and shake and shake and shake, and supposedly the peel, the shell and everything comes off. All that does for me is just make a crumbly mess that's still stuck to the egg, but this seems to work pretty well. My boss has one of those little egg steamer machine hickey doodads that you just has a little thing you puncture the top of the shell and put some water in the bottom of the machine, put the lid on, and it cooks the eggs perfectly. And I may eventually get one of those because they're pretty handy. But I don't think I cook eggs quite enough to justify it. I mainly eat boiled eggs on a salad. I don't make deviled eggs that often, especially not just for me. So, if I start eating lots of salads, yeah, maybe. Okay. Just peel all this off. And I just give it a little shake in the water, knock off any little pieces. I'm scared to say that not a single one has like broke and stuck and been horribly disfigured, because I know as soon as I do, like, this one will be awful, but it's actually peeling pretty well. So hey, nothing tore up. Go me. Okay, so now I got these shells, and I'm gonna drain this bowl in the sink and hope that I remember they're there and don't pile something else on top of it, because that has happened a lot. Okay, so now we have 5 boiled eggs, and I am going to put one in the fridge, because that is for salads later on. Okay, so now, the one thing I didn't get was a knife. All dirty in the dishwasher still. So we're gonna kind of go for overkill here and use a big knife, but it's fine. Also, I should be using a cutting board, not holding this in my hand. Definitely, do that. Do as I say, not as I do. I could say that, I'm a trained professional, it's okay that I do it this way, but honestly, I broke my cutting board, and I keep forgetting to get a new one, so I'm just being careful. It's fine. It's totally fine. Actually, I want one of those big here we go. One of those big wooden stove covers. As I have no counter space in this kitchen. Like, there's a video I think it's posted already of me like putting away groceries and cleaning the kitchen. You can see I have no counter space. There's a little bit of space beside my air fryer, in front of my air fryer, beside my microwave, beside my sink. And it's about big enough to hold a gallon of milk. So any of my food prep is done right here. And I've had some people ask, why don't I use my counter? Why am I doing everything on the stove? Especially like the Rotel dip or the lemonade that did not need to be anywhere near a stove, is because this is all I got. So I'm wanting one of those wooden stove covers. And I found some on Amazon, so I'm gonna get one of those in a few paydays. But you see them a lot in like the modern farmhouse look, where it's like, you know, the big monogram or the let's eat or some nonsense, and like the big wide strips of wood and the big ridiculous handles. I don't want that. Like, I found some that are like basically a giant cutting board with a lip to fit over the burners and everything. That's what I'm trying to get. Okay, but now, until then, we cook it on the stove. So now let's open up our mayo. We have all of our yolks in this bowl. I'm gonna add some mayo, not a whole lot. We'll add more as we need it. And now we're gonna add spicy mustard. Let's give that a good shake. There we go. All right. And now I'm all about, you know, being environmentally friendly, you know, save the turtles. Real big on that. But also, I work like 50, sometimes 60 hours a week. I'm exhausted. I live alone. The less things I have to wash and keep up with, the better. So, plastic forks, plastic spoons, plastic cups, you know, the turtles will be fun. Okay, so this needs a bit more mayo and a bit more mustard. Some people add a ton of mayonnaise, not naming names, but we like the yolks to still be yellow. We like to be lots of flavor. I think that's a good consistency. When I worked at the Fancy Schmancy restaurant, and when I say fancy schmancy, I do mean there's no Michelin star restaurants in the South. But if there were, this place would have been a 3-star restaurant. This is brand new, so open it. We did, you know, deviled eggs is one of our appetizers. Sorry. It was real big on, you know, Southern food, but fine dining Southern food. And the station next to me, next to desserts, you know, did salads and deviled eggs and other little appetizers like that. And I'd help out there sometimes when he got backed up. And I'll tell you, there was 4 halves, so that's 2 eggs, okay? So half of this plate. 2 eggs for $9. And they had the yolks. I think there was like relish and stuff in the yolk mixture. And then this is brand new too. Gosh, it had like pork rind stuck in it, caviar, hot sauce drizzled on it. It was a fukake mix, fukake seasoning. I think it's like a Japanese thing. And then it had sliced radishes and sprinkled with dill. Like, it had a lot of stuff on it, but in reality, you're getting 2 eggs for $9, and we sold that more than anything else. So, I guess you can do what you want to do. There we go. Had to find something to stab this paper with. Okay. So I am adding salt, pepper, chili powder, garlic powder, too much garlic for some people, but just right for me. This one's also brand new, and onion powder. I don't have real measurements for these, for any of this. Partially because I make different quantities every time. So you just really mixing until you get the right consistency for like the mayonnaise and the mustard. And for the seasonings, you just add it till it tastes right, till it feels right, till it looks right, because you want this to go from yellow to a bit of a darker color if you get enough of your seasonings in there. Yeah, see that deeper yellow come through. I'm gonna try just get us a little bit. Oh, I know what I'm missing. A little bit of parsley. I use a lot of dried stuff just because it's easier to keep up with. I do love fresh herbs. I'd one day sorry, love to have some fresh herbs growing on my porch that I could just cut from and cook with, but I am very bad at plants. Very, very bad at plants. Like, every year just about, I go to Home Depot and like spend way too much money in the garden center and bring home all these plants that I'm convinced are gonna make it this year. But in reality, I'm basically plant hospice, bringing these plants home so they can meet plant Jesus. Like, it's a death sentence to this whole thing. So, don't think I'm gonna do it this year. That's probably a lie. I'm probably gonna get another tomato plant like I did last year. So until then, I use dried herbs. And I know you can buy like fresh herbs in the produce section at the grocery store, but I cannot justify spending $2, $3, $4 on a leaf, because it's a leaf. There's a couple of leaves, but it's just leaves. I'm too broke for that. So now I'm going to take a piping bag. You could easily use a Ziploc bag with the corner cut off. I'm just using a piping bag because I have some. And we're just going to spoon this mixture in here. Oops. And I do baking and stuff. I've been baking and working with pastry for like years now. So I find it easier for me to hold a bag like this, just keep like pulling it down to fill, because I'm used to doing, dozens of bags of meringues and puddings and custards and egg filling and tons of other things all at once, back to back to back, so I'm trying to go fast, and that just wound up being faster for me. But you can definitely set your bag over in a cup and pull that around the sides if that's easier for you to hold, as it is for a lot of people. Even people I've worked with, like at restaurants who do the same thing, they had to put theirs, in a cup. And it's just whatever works for you. There is no right or wrong way to do lots of things. Except the amount of mayonnaise you add to your deviled eggs. Again, not naming names. But, okay. Now you've got your deviled egg mix either in your piping bag or your Ziploc bag. Now, going to just cut the end off. And you can add like a fancy piping tip to this to make your deviled eggs look a little prettier. A star tip or like a 32 Wilton tip looks really great. And I could have done that, but I didn't, so we're getting this. Now you just squeeze, give it a little swirl. Oops, it's spinning around. Yep. Alright, now there's a little bit left. You can either go back to each one and add it on, or you can just eat it. And I vote eat it. Okay. No. I like to garnish mine with just a little bit of pepper. And tiny bit of salt. You can add whatever you like to yours, but here is my recipe for deviled eggs. And I thought the prettiest. I'm so sorry, y'all. This weather has been flip-flopping back around. It's allergy season. It's all messing with my asthma. But yeah, they're not the prettiest, but they taste so good, y'all. So now it's time to just put everything away. Back in the cabinets. These into the fridge. Throw that in the trash and towel. And just wipe up these pepper and salt and seasonings. There we go. That is how you make my deviled egg recipe. So it's not really a list recipe, it's more of a list of ingredients, but trust me, they're really good. It's a little bit spicy, but not overly spicy where it's like, ooh, this is hot. It just has lots of flavor. And you can always add more or less of any of these. You can add in extra. You can take away something that I've added. Make the recipe yours. It's a good thing about cooking. You can change anything you like. If you don't like mayonnaise, you can add in Miracle Whip. But thanks for watching. Oh, goodness. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. If you have friends who like baking and cooking, tell them about my channel. Love for them to join me here. And I think that's about it. That's something else I thought I was going to say at the end today, but I don't remember what it was. If I remember, I'll put it in the description, and if not, then you all get to enjoy the mystery with me. Alright, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.